What's up, Front Row? Johnny V here, coming to you from Eastern Oregon, where I'm speaking today, and I've got some great news to share with you. Just recently, we had an event in Cleveland. It was called the Personal Transformation and Co-Creation Summit. It was 35 people from around North America, consisting of board members, staff members, donors, volunteers, recipients, and a bunch of different people coming together to create the future for Front Row. And here's what happened. What happened was nothing short of spectacular, but I'm going to take you behind the scenes for a moment and share with you some of the processes that we used and some of the results that we experienced, because I feel like you could take these back to your families, to your businesses and organizations you care about, helping create an amazing future for. So I have to give all the credit to John Berghoff, who is on our board and is also the managing partner for Flourishing Leadership Institute. And he uses a process called appreciative inquiry. In fact, as I record this video, he's with 400 people designing the future for the city of Cleveland. And we brought this process to the table where the appreciation part is really focused on strengths. It's an affirmative process. It's looking at what's going well and how can we expand it. And then the inquiry part is about asking powerful questions which guide our future. Well, John led us through a process that was absolutely remarkable. The first night started with defining for us what a front row moment was all about and what made it so special. And so the entire room did a brainstorming session. We talked to one another, we collaborated, and we came up with, there were 4 main themes that made a front row moment very special. And these themes showed up really in everybody's front row moments. One was courage, that each front row moment was one where people were overcoming maybe a fear of some type, or they were stepping up with courage. The second was about being present. We found that individuals were talking about how they were fully engaged. They were 100% present for their front row moment. The third was that it was transformational. In some way, shape, or form, their life or other people's lives were being transformed through the front row moment. And finally, it was community. There was people associated with these front row moments, and maybe not even in the moment, but that the ripple effect had an impact on people, and that community was affected in one way, shape, or form. These were common themes. We took those themes into the second day where we started designing the future, and we're following a 4D process for appreciative inquiry, which is all about discovery, dreaming, designing, and then creating your destiny. And so John was walking us through all these processes where people were discussing and they were creating, and then we were doing presentations of our ideas, and people were making commitments. And at the end of this event, which by the way included a quick pop-in by Jeff Hoffman, founder of Priceline, and he told some stories, and then he auctioned off a little bit of his time, which our group totally ate up. In fact, 4 people won some time with Jeff, and that was a total of about $20,000 raised for the charity. But I've got to tell you that right when I thought that it couldn't get any better, we were sitting around a campfire at John Berghoff's house, and somebody decided that we should have an auction, and it might have been John, but I will tell you that people were all in. They were like, here's what was the spirit of it. If you had a resource, if you had something to offer to the group, you could throw it out there and say, hey, by the way, my company does video production, and I'll offer up a free video for your company. Or, hey, our family owns a beach house, and I'd love to toss that in, and you can bid on the beach house, or whatever it was, resources, time, coaching, all things that this group had access to and valued. Well, what happened was this group raised about $60,000 sitting on the back deck of John Berghoff's house. Now, here's what ended up happening. Over a course of a period of days, we were raising money because we had some front row recipients that we were trying to help, and we were auctioning off all sorts of stuff throughout the event. But what happened that night was we were at $83,000 raised in just a couple of days, and somebody said we got to get to 100. And then one of our attendees, John Kane, raised his hand and said, I will get the front row logo tattooed on me if we can get to 100 grand right now. And everybody's like, no way. And then somebody else raises their hand and says, I'm in. Next thing you know, we've got 4 people, one of which is me, who have committed to getting front row tattoos if we can get to 100 grand. And right away, we spiked to about 97,000 raised. And then we were like, how do we get to 100? And we immediately thought of our good friend, Stephen Christopher, who's a guy whose company, Sequus, generously donated all the resources to develop frontrowfoundation.org. So if you like that website, you need to go work with Stephen and his company. But we called Stephen up. We're like, Steve, we know you're a big fan of the Front Row, man. You've given so much over the years. But I will tell you that we're 3,000 short of our goal. Would you help us to reach it? And he, without hesitation, said, absolutely, count me in. And the whole group goes crazy and we're all cheering. And we've got photos and videos of it. It's absolutely amazing. We hit $100,000. The reason I wanted to share this with you is that what happens when you bring people together into one room, into one place, and you talk about the future together, and you tap into your biggest resources, and when people show up ready to give, ready to collaborate, ready to be open to crazy ideas about how we can find ways to propel the entire organization forward, amazing things happen. And I've now seen this multiple times with organizations that John Berghoff has helped. And I've seen it now with Front Row Foundation firsthand. And I want to tell you that think about these 4 steps that Appreciative Inquiry uses. Discovery, what's great? What are the talents and strengths? What makes it special? What is the meaning and purpose behind what we're doing? The dreaming phase, what's possible for the future? What could we do? The design phase of saying, okay, what if we put this here? What if we rapid prototype something now and really put this into play? And then the destiny phase of how do we make this sustainable? How do we carry this out and make this something that will help our organization to flourish? And I will tell you that when you put those principles together with the right group of people, magic happens. And so we experienced it firsthand. And I wanted to send this video out to you to say, thank you for being part of our Front Row family. And I hope that the next time that we host one of these summits, that you'll be with us in attendance and help us to co-create and design the next phase of Front Row Foundation. Also, I will share with you that a lot of the people that were at this event will also be at the Best Year Ever Live event, which is in San Diego. John Berghoff, Hal Elrod coming together. They partnered with us at Front Row Foundation, and we've got an amazing event. So this is a personal growth experience, a transformational experience, and a way to get involved and support Front Row Foundation. You can check it out, bestyeareverlive.com. That's all I've got for you today. Much love to all of you. Keep living your life in the front row. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.